Yeah, I
How
mean,
did
we see the same effects, and there's a reason. As I had mentioned, we have the term sustainable use, and right now the billionaire Oppenheimer family in South Africa, they're trying to change the narrative now from sustainable use to the wildlife economy. And a big
you?
part of the wildlife economy, especially for them, is trade in wildlife parts.
Yeah.
So we see a couple different things. Right now, the biggest thing that they're trying to do is they're trying to push through an African continent free trade agreement. And they're trying to do that again because they're invested in wild game meat. They essentially farm wild animals. And then they want to be able tax free get their product out the door. These are rich people making business decisions like that. And of course, like what we've seen here in the US, in North America with NAFTA and a lot of free trade agreements throughout the world, it's been pretty terrible for poor people. And it's really just benefited the wealthy of the wealthy. But not only that, when we talk about sort of like wildlife trade and a lot kind of connected with trophy hunting, the big one, I can give an example like rhino horn trade. Um, so much as that has just been privatized. And the way that this has happened is we've had probably what 60 years of it or so. Again, if you look in South Africa, what happens there? You have indigenous Africans, people that weren't colonists, but people that their ancestors lived in that region before colonization. They're kicked off the land. The land is privatized. The wildlife is privatized, and rich, wealthy white people come in and then they breed rhinos, they cut off their horns and sell them, and then they lobby for that trade. And the whole idea that they promote is like, oh, legal trade reduces illegal trade. And that's just not true. What they're doing is they're opening up markets, which increases illegal trade there. But again, what I had mentioned is you have a lot of people in Southern Africa who have been kicked off their land. They've had job opportunities reduced. They've been stuck in the cycle of poverty. And why is that? Is so that rich billionaire people can have a giant game farm and they can
Yeah.
produce wild game meat. They can produce rhino horn, all that fun stuff.